What's going on, everybody, and welcome back for the 240 Auto Fusion. We are reaching the end of this collection. Now I'm gonna go all the way up to 255 if it's not a surprise. I'm pretty sure I put that in the comments a few days back. But this right here is at least the 240. Now it might not look the same, and I did this because a lot of you people, especially from Psycho and servers like that, you need to load all the chunks around you, and there's a limit of how many chunks you can load, and so on and so on and so on. So the 240 actually couldn't get completely filled, so if the booster was missing, and you guys said that you can load up the entire cannon, so I changed the design up, and it might actually look like a 255, but it really isn't. Now, the top of the barrel is a maximum at 240, and it is a max 240 because there is only 240 sand down there. Getting shut up. So you can maybe push this to 241, but that is the max. But since this is a 240, it's perfectly fine. Now I'm gonna go ahead and press the button down here. Now I can't put it on auto since there's a lot of people here on one shot, and it's just gonna fuck up. So I can't really do much. But what I can do is press it one by one, and as you see here, excuse me the lag. Here we have a 52 block scatter. Now it's either 52 or 50. It kind of varies a little bit. It's kind of funny. So at least it's a 50 block scatter, just like the other ones. But this time we only have 2 comparators, meaning of course we're gonna use a lot more TNT than we actually used to. So you might actually have to fill this before it actually ends up. So that's just a little. Or before it ends up, before you reach the end of the buffer, you might need to fill it one more time. So that's basically what I was going to say. But anyways, it goes to the end of this plot. Now there is some issues, or not really issues, but some situations I kind of want to explain how to change things, because it's kind of like hidden very well. As you see, it's very compact, and that way we can kind of make sure that everything is getting loaded. And as you see, there's a little bit TNT going on right there. I did test around with the ticks a little bit. Maybe that was a little bit too much. But I did the final testing on the scatter. Now I just need to actually just downscale it to make sure that there's no TNT blowing up inside the barrel. And looks lit. Okay, there's still a little bit. Alright. But as you see, we're going through walls as it was nothing, and it's still a 50 block scatter, which is perfect. Now let's go ahead and actually talk a little bit about this down here while we're just going to fire. So this down here is a dual sand comp. What happens is that this side and this side, as you see, pushes out, and what it does is that it collects the sand here and here. So the sand from this one is getting fired up against this couple. This sand right here is getting fired up against this couple. So it's gonna look something similar to something like this, just up here in the air. What this here does is that it fires this out, sliding the top here, and it ends up right here, like right there. And then what this does right here is just simply to boost it up. So this right here is the booster for this one right here. This one here boosts all the TNT over to this block, so this block right here. And what it does is that it then shoots it up, meaning that the sand and the TNT will never ever get in contact with each other. The same goes with the sand compression over here. It will never ever get in touch with each other. As you see, all these ladders here is here to protect the TNT from any sand going on. And as you can see, it shoots out really fast. Since it's a one push, it's literally no delay whatsoever, which is gonna make this an incredible fast cannon, because we're using one push in a fully auto, and this can be very dangerous for whoever you're fighting or whoever you're raiding, because it's literally like it's just like maybe 4 seconds per wall or something like that. And I tried to make it as TNT friendly as possible. I tried to make it as entity clear or entity friendly as possible, and hopefully it will work out perfectly for you guys. But that is basically how this cannon here works, or sorry, the sand compression here works. Now it's a different story from at the top here, because we're actually using a lot of the 255's mechanisms right here. And oh, looks like, oh, we shot a little bit too fast again. This wouldn't really have been an issue on any other server. It's just that one shot is really laggy right now, and it actually fucks up the cannons. I'm not really sure what's going on, but sometimes it just doesn't work if you shoot it too fast, which is kind of weird in a way. But as you see, now it works just fine. There's no problem. You can even do it again, and it will work just fine. I think when there's too many people, it can't really load up the chunks that it needs to, or something like similar to that. I'm not really sure what it is, but that's basically what's going on. Now, let's talk a little bit about the cannon. So this right here is, of course, the one shot, or sorry, not the one shot, the one shot sand. And basically, we're just having this right here, kind of just make it a little bit easier and make sure you don't run out. Now, you might need to fold this more than once, especially because when you fire, it is gonna grab. It's gonna grab one of those red sand right here. As you see, this one is getting pushed now. This over here is getting pushed as well, but this one here can't push unless this over here it's getting out, since we use obsidian there to make sure that there's no sand getting pushed down there and getting a hybrid shot. It's just like a little safety mechanism, so if you accidentally hit the button twice, it's not going to blow up and stuff like that, just so to make sure that you guys could use this cannon. Now if you want to change your hammer ticks, this is ticks right here, this tick for this side of the hammer, and on the other side we have this tick right here. Now the scatter is right here. You could change that up, or if you want to add or delete, remove the layer, you could do that. Over here we have the slap bust right here. This is basically the slap bust. Why? If you need text on your slap bust, you can bypass maybe 2 or 3 of the layers down here at the slap bust and just go for the rest of it if you had a repeater right in here, you know. So that should work out perfectly as well. But if you want to disable it, take away that one, that is disabled, that is enabled, and you should be good to go. Now, I tried to make it as compressed as I possibly can. As you see, the ticks for the hammer goes under the hammer right here. So does the scatter is under the hammer right there. So I tried to make it as good as possible, and hopefully you guys like it. I am not a fan of 255, to be honest. If it's to me, we should have moved this hammer down one block this way here, so we have the entire hammer down here as a barrel. But there's a problem when you do that. You can't really realign your hammer, and it's gonna fuck up on some servers. So that's out of the picture. Anyways, let's see how many walls we went through, and we went through about, okay, so we at around 27 chunks right now. Let's go ahead and fire this cannon here up, so you can see that it works even at this range. Now you might ask yourself why this works at this range with this amount of ticks, and I'm gonna let you guys know here in a second why one of the reasons is that it works at so long range. And there we have the scatter as well. Now it did go up a little bit, so that's about 45 blocks. You can change the scatter for what range you want to go at. Now we have the power right here. Right here, this is why it's getting realigned and stuff like that. Right here we have the slap bust. Right here we have the sand. Let me grab the sand real quick. And right here we have the hammer. So as you see, everything is right next to each other, right next to the power, and that is why it can go so far without changing any ticks really, because we have the power so close to to just about anything. So that is always a positive thing. It's not something I would do unless it's a 255, because it's really messy redstone. As you see, like this storage system here, the slappers here, is very messy, and you should see, like you really need to. You really need to have a 255 to do this. You need the skeleton of the 255 so you can actually do this, or else it wouldn't really work. Well, I guess it would work out, but it wouldn't really look as good as this one here does. But as you see, it works out perfectly. It uses the red sand from all of these, so that's perfectly fine. Now we can go to 32 chunks, which is right here. That's the end of the plot. We cannot go further than 32 chunks. Because that's where my plot ends, but I can promise you that it will be able to go further than that. But you shouldn't really be needed to go further than that, since the max buffer is 20, and I don't think any basis is a 20 by 20 chunk. I hope not. But anyways, I think that will be just about it for this video here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video here, and if you do, remember to like this video here, comment down below if you have any questions, issues whatsoever. And as always, guys, remember to subscribe to my channel. My name is Dexter, and I'm out.